Yo, what is going on,
What is up?
everybody? What is going on? Welcome to, in my opinion, presented by the Pro Wrestling Podcast, of course. This is a debate show, my new debate show, episode one.
Let's
And I
go.
couldn't think of a better person to kick off episode one than my podcasting friend, Kenny from the Call Up podcast.
What's going on, man? I'm glad you decided to have me on for as your first guest. You know, it's like Chicago meets New York. It's like the Bulls versus the Knicks.
It's
Except
like,
I'm not a Knicks fan. You know,
oh,
and we're not fighting
uh,
each other.
yeah. Uh, are you a Nets fan?
No, I'm actually a Lakers fan.
You're a Lakers fan?
Yeah, man,
Oh,
I've been a Lakers fan since like the Shaquille O'Neal days of the Lakers.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a Bulls guy. I'm not an NBA guy either.
Hmm.
I'm not even a Bears guy. I just I don't know what I like. I'm a Michigan guy. You know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, thank you for coming on, man. And uh, I want to say like let's get this shit started. But before we do that, tell people who don't know about your podcast what exactly you do, because we have different subscribers.
Hmm.
For instance, like one of my subscribers is my mom. So why don't you go ahead and tell my mom what you do?
Oh man, Jesus Christ! So first of all, I need to watch my mouth because the last thing I want to do is curse, and then your mom just like gives me like the backhand when she sees me. But but the Call Up podcast is pretty much a wrestling based show. I do reviews on pay per views and TV like programming. I also do interviews with other like talent from like AEW and WWE and like other like major companies. Started back in 2020 when the pandemic was still a little bit rocky. I wanted something where I could talk to other fans about wrestling instead of like bugging my wife about it, which she'll just give me like a face and be like, "Why are you talking to me about this?" So I got on a computer and just started chatting with different people in groups, and I started doing the Call Up podcast, and like this is where I'm at now, talking to you.
That's kind of funny, man, that you were venting to your wife about wrestling. It's
Yeah,
like,
because
man, I
like cause she will watch wrestling with me, and like my kids too. But like to have like conversations about stuff like, oh my god, I can't believe Vince McMahon is like firing all these people, and oh they should have did this with creative. Like she's not she doesn't care about any of that stuff. It's
yeah,
just like okay, she'll just listen because she wants to be nice, but then you can see she'll make that face like she's really uninterested. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop talking to you about it, and then I just started going online and talking to different people and said, you know what, I should make a show of this, and I've been doing it ever since.
one thing led to another, and here you are.
Exactly.
What's going on, Lay? Welcome, man. Uh, so, what do we say we just get started with our topics for today?
Definitely. So,
This
what
is a
is the
debate
first
show.
topic?
First topic for today: are wrestling fans too negative for today's climate? So, lately, I've been noticing, especially on Twitter and social media, a lot of people are easy to attack another group of people for different beliefs in their in style of wrestling or the brand that they watch, and um, many of other things that are going on. It's always like one side versus the other, which makes for a lot of like comments that are made towards a group of people. Sometimes the fans take it too far to where it's towards the wrestlers. So I just wanted to get your take on that first. You go first since you're the guest, but are wrestling fans too negative in that aspect?
No, I mean certain fans are definitely way too negative because it's just like, especially with the way with like um us getting like AEW now. Everybody's like, you have to choose a side. Like this is wrestling. Like just stick to what you like and and go from there. Uh, like you see it all the time where like people will start fights and arguments and say, this one's better than the other, and it kind of just like hinders what you really want to, to watch. So it's just like, before WWF and WWE, we had, WCW and NWA and, WWF and AAA. So I can
Mhm.
only imagine like back then how negative a lot of those people are. But I think now with like social media, it just it gets even worse because now, you can just pick up your phone and say I hate this person. Like look at Jade Cargill from AEW. She left Twitter today because she didn't want to she couldn't handle the negative comments going on in social media.
See, see. Um, First of all, what's going on, everybody that's coming in right now? If you're coming in right now, we're talking about if wrestling fans are too negative. Kenny just made some great points, and I gotta say, man, this topic I would have to agree with you on because social media is very toxic in a way. I mean, that happened to Cody Rhodes not too long ago too,
Mm-hmm.
where he deleted his Twitter
Exactly.
because
He took
of.
time off.
But I think I think what wrestlers are worried about, and they shouldn't be, is the fact that the people who do come up to them and say shit is the vocal minority.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the majority, I feel like the majority of fans, like me and you,
Mm-hmm.
who, I mean, we have a Twitter, but we don't use it as like a weapon. We
Right.
just sit there, we watch, we analyze, we talk about it, and then we move on. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? We don't take it personal in a way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's wrestling.
Yep. Like
It
it's scripted. Like
yeah,
they're acting out something and they're trying to perform moves that a lot of us can't even do. And I think that's like one of the things that I think a lot of people just need to realize is like, okay, you're criticizing somebody for taking a bump, but can you do it?
yeah,
Have you ever felt what it feels like to hit the mat or to go off the top rope and land wrong? And everybody's just quick to criticize and never quick to say like, oh, you know what, let me try that. you know when I was 14, going all the way till I was 16, I went to wrestling school. So if I say, oh man, this person took a really nasty bump, like, oh man, they kind of landed wrong, and somebody was asking like, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, I did that. Like, I learned how to do that. And me being at the age of 38 now, I think I could do that? Hell no, because I have a bad back, so there's like no way I'm doing that. But I know what it feels like to land wrong and mess up a move and try to like get back to like a script of what
yes.
you was trying to do with that particular person.
hmm I gotta admit too, like I went to wrestling school
Hmm.
because I wanted to try it out. I think like
Yeah,
every wrestling fan should try to do that at least once. Bumps suck. Yeah, they suck really bad. Especially if you don't know what you're doing the first time and you land
exactly.
straight on your back. Yeah, you can fuck up your back. Uh, but yeah, and going off of that is just that we have a bunch of people who judge other people's looks too
Hmm.
that I don't agree with. It's all the time. Like you're gonna judge Jade Cargill for being muscular. Meanwhile, you're behind a keyboard, probably 450 pounds, with a neck beard, talking shit.
Exactly.
Like, why are you doing that? Are you any better? No.
Like, let me tell you something. I give it up to Jay Cargill for the work she puts in. I can't sit there and dedicate myself to doing that. Time in and time out, and she knows her worth. Like, she knows, like, I need to protect my body, or I need to have my body a certain way in order to meet a certain goal in her mind. And people will just try to tear it down as much as possible. And then especially like because she's a person of color, and she's a woman, so she gets it like double of what, like, say like a male talent would get it. And it
hmm
sucks because she's somebody that in AEW that I've seen out of the women's division that is actually like building herself up. You know, you thought we had like, was it Red Velvet? You know, I thought she was gonna be somebody who's gonna step up and be that um next star in the women's division, and she kind of just like fizzled out. But then you still have Jade Cargill that's there, and she's just killing it every single week that she comes on, whether it's Dark Elevation or Dynamite or freaking Rampage.
Yeah, green or not, she's putting the work in every day.
Mm-hmm.
I commend her for that. Um, so we're at agreement here that some wrestling fans are toxic, but it's just the ones that are very vocal.
Exactly. Stop being a dick and just enjoy
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, for real. Come on, guys.
Sorry, Dave's mom, for cursing.
No,
I
no.
feel like my mom is gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, he has a potty mouth.
Yeah, nah. She's gonna get into this for like 2 minutes and then log off. It's fine. So next topic then, because that was a good one. Uh, Granted, I got to give you credit for some of these because you came up with some good ones. The next one that you came up with was, is WWE really looking for a change or just buying time to sell?
What do you think?
I don't think they're looking for a change. Yeah, I'm on the buying
I
time to
Yeah,
sell.
I have to agree with you. I think that Vince McMahon got nervous. I think that he saw what Triple H and Stephanie were doing, and he is just like, okay, like I have to show that I'm still that dominant force in wrestling, and then it's kind of like, okay, now that's not working, so I don't want to leave it to like my kids. I might as well just sell it off and make as much money as possible, because then it is going to try and destroy everything that I already built. You know, which if you think about it, even if you sell it to another company, like say like Disney was in talks with WWE supposedly to, buy WWE or buy a big share of WWE, right? Either way, Triple H can like leave and start something else. Look at the way
Yeah.
AEW started. AEW is a company that wants to go and compete against WWE, and they've been doing great. And for Vince McMahon to just be like, oh well, I don't see them as competition. I mean, obviously you should see them as competition now, where they're like taking talent that supposedly you couldn't do nothing with, and are making them into stars or helping develop other stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, there is a couple of things that I didn't. Yeah, he doesn't see them as competition, but then at the same time he did this whole thing with NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but maybe he doesn't. Now that I think about it, because if that were the case, if I were a businessman and I had two shows that I've been holding on to for
Mm-hmm.
years now that have done great numbers, and then another show that, you know, just recently got on the USA Network, but is, they're doing decent numbers for what they are because it's got the WWE name attached to it. Why would I go out of my way to make NXT 2.0 when NXT itself was so much better?
Yeah. Like
You know
for
what I
me,
mean?
yeah, I think for me, like I just feel like maybe like he wants to put everything back in reverse. So like, okay, let's take NXT Black and Gold, get them out of here, because now if they continue to grow, USA is gonna renew their deal. You know, they're probably gonna throw more money at you that obviously you don't want at this point right now. And I'm just gonna make it back to developmental, where we just bring in new stars and try to make those stars into superstars. And if that doesn't work, USA Network could just say, you know what, we're not going to renew with you. Vince McMahon could just say, fine, fuck it, I don't care, you know,
Yeah.
and get rid of it. So now he doesn't really have to um, stay with the USA Network. So now he could push NXT 2.0 to Peacock, leave that on there, so Peacock has full control now of WWE. You know, and
Hmm.
say like Viacom and was it NBC can go in and say like, you know what, we already have the network, we have all your library already of what we can use. How about we just buy the whole entire network? You know, we could just buy the whole company from you, give you a good amount of money, and then freaking NBC will take over WWE, and you would just have to find everything on a Peacock network. They'll get rid of Raw on USA. SmackDown could stay on Fox because they build a really good relationship with Fox. You know, and we're probably gonna end up seeing freaking Monday Night Raw on a Monday night on NBC or on Sundays, and just change their whole freaking structure of wrestling.
Isn't USA part of that same family?
I don't, I really don't know. Like, that's something that I would have to look into. But I'm probably assuming that they are.
Because it's interesting that what you said earlier about Disney and
Hmm.
possible talk, because Fox is owned by Disney,
Hmm.
or Disney owns Fox, you know.
Disney owns a
So
lot of shit.
yeah, so it's just like maybe they are. Maybe that's why these shows are doing so freaking bad. Maybe he wants them to be so bad
Hmm.
that they have no choice but to say, like you. I think that's what you were making. Get the hell out of here,
Hmm.
and we'll take it from here.
It's just like when a sports team does really bad and they have an awful season, and then all of a sudden they get picked to be like the top three teams to get like the first round draft pick or something like that. You know what I mean? They don't say
Right.
like you had a horrible season and this is what they're gonna reward you with. Like, makes no sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't think, yeah, I just don't think they're looking for a change. If that were the case, then Monday nights would be better. We wouldn't be
Hmm.
seeing the same old shit every night. Uh,
Exactly.
SmackDown, it is what it is. I mean, that's an okay show.
Yeah.
The only thing that's making it okay is Roman Reigns. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think they're looking for a change. They're gonna buy time.
I give it another maybe 2 years before we end up getting reports again that WWE is selling the company, and Nick Khan will be on BBC freaking talking about what negotiations is gonna happen and stuff like that.
Uh, do you see any more cuts in the future then?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right now is December. They still have to gear up for Rumble, so they're not gonna cut anybody right now because they're gonna need people to fill up the Royal Rumble for the men and women. Um, I could probably maybe say like March or like the ending of April where we'll see like more cuts, because it happens. This is like WrestleMania would happen. They'll analyze stuff, and even if you did a really great job at WrestleMania, they could still cut you. Look at Gallows and Anderson, and I'm wearing their shirt right now. They did an amazing job
Mm-hmm.
at WrestleMania. After was it 38 with
Well,
AJ Styles and the Undertaker in the Boneyard match, right?
oh, the
They,
cinematic match.
yeah, exactly. They did a really good job. They got praised by everyone back, in upper management, and then they both of them get cut. So like, I don't know. I can definitely see another round of cuts coming um, in April. There will be probably names that will shock people if they don't get it together. I think Dana Brooke will most likely be one of those people. You know, I could see Angel Garza being another person who could possibly get cut, and Berta Carrillo could be another person who can get cut too. Um, the Viking Raiders could be another tag
Oh,
team that can get cut. I can see that happening for them. Um, Io Shirai could be another person that can get cut, even though because you think about it as you have Io Shirai and you have Xia Li. Who are you gonna keep unless you cut Xia Li, which that could possibly happen
when did it become a choice?
because they're only gonna keep three. The other guy too that was in NXT, that he was on War Games doing those vignettes where he was eating ice cream and pizzas and all that other stuff.
Oh,
He's gonna get cut from NXT. Like, that would, the way they treated him on Sunday was the writings on the wall that you are definitely going to get cut the next time around.
You know what's crazy? Sean Ross Sapp said he liked that shit.
He would.
He would.
It's fucking
He would.
garbage. I'm
God.
sorry. That was garbage. Like, no one really knows who you are, and this is what you're gonna give me right now. Fuck out of here.
He's taking a shit. Man. So yeah. What's the verdict for this one?
This one, I say in another 2 years, we're gonna say bye bye to WWE and hello to Mickey Mouse Wrestling.
Mickey Mouse Wrestling?
Yep.
Vince will still be alive by then.
Oh no,
I
he
guarantee
will.
it.
He'll be
Yeah.
sitting in his house in Connecticut or wherever he's at right now, and counting his money like Scrooge McDuck,
Hmm.
and that'll be it. And hopefully, Triple H, gets better soon, and him, Shawn Michaels, and like Road Dogg could like come together, along with like Scotty 2 Hotty, and and build another brand. They could do it. People love these guys. Like, I guarantee you, if the names that I mentioned come together, and Stephanie McMahon comes together, and Shane McMahon comes together, and these 6 people could freaking make a company, I guarantee you it'll be a lot better than freaking WWE.
I'm going to ask you a question that's still on the subject regarding them. Do you think that it would be wise of them to cut their losses and buy Ring of Honor?
No. Ring of Honor is in too much debt. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing as far as like business practices, but they owe fucking billions of dollars in fucking debt as a company in general. Like, I feel sorry
What?
for Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor as a whole is completely done.
It's billions of dollars. You said with
Yeah,
a B?
yeah. Like,
Jesus.
that company alone has other companies. Like, he um was doing so many deals that he was losing so much money. It's like they didn't know exactly what he was doing, and this is the reason why ROH just got tanked so fast, and they just let everybody go because he doesn't have the money to pay them.
Now that you said that there's a B, yeah, there's no billionaire or $1 billion in debt. There's no way. There's no way. That's
Fucking U.S.
why.
government.
So guess what they're probably going to do now is just become like one of those shows that you pay talent to come in every
Mm-hmm.
month or so and then leave. It's good.
I
It might be like that.
I mean, I could see if Tony Khan was to do like what Vince did with the other indie promotions when they started buying out, when they started bringing in different talents and just buy their library. I think
Oh,
Tony Khan could do that because
that's
he's
still up in
looking,
auction?
yeah, because he's looking to build a network. So you might as well just fucking take ROH. You have half of freaking ROH in your stable already with like CM Punk, Eddie Kingston, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish,
Hmm.
Brian Danielson,
Adam
you know what I mean?
Cole.
Adam Cole. Like, you might as well just buy their library and use what you can. You know what I mean?
Uh, Toe
Hey,
from the
look,
Knucklehead
12
podcast says
billion in debt.
$12 billion in debt.
They're like the
And
U.S.
then
government.
and then he says Adam Cole. Yeah, that's one of them. There's a lot of ROH alumni there. It's kind of amazing.
Cole Cabana is another
Yeah.
ROH alum. Like,
Oh, the Bucks.
the Bucks,
Yeah, that whole roster's filled with
Cody,
Cody. Yeah, that whole roster. And if you want to,
Hangman.
the list goes on and
Yeah,
on, man.
exactly. So that's what I said. Just buy their library and just get it over with.
That's actually smart. I like that. I like that idea. Um, but okay, there we go. So they're just buying time to sell. End of. I wish I had a gavel like Toe does.
I know, right?
But on to the next topic because that was interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and take something off of my list now. What's the end game for this Cody Rhodes feud, and is Cody Rhodes the best heel in the world for not becoming a heel?
I think the end game that we're gonna end up getting is having uh, Cody as AEW champ.
Really?
I see it going in that direction. Like Malachi is going to obviously come out on top of this feud. He's going to convince Cody to embrace his dark side, almost like oh my god, like a fiend type of feel. Bray Wyatt, like get him into
Yeah.
that type of feel, you know. And Cody's gonna eventually turn heel, and he's going to, in my hopes, is almost give us like a Seth Rollins type of feel, like I'm doing this for you. Like he's talking to the fans, like I'm doing this for you. Like I'm doing this to save this company, and I'm the reason why you guys are here. I'm the reason why Chris Jericho, came to this company to, to help build it what it is. Like, all these guys in the back should be, like kissing at my feet to, praising me. And, and he just goes in and says, like, my first order of action is I'm going to challenge for the AEW title and beat Bryan Danielson and just take the title away from him. And he's gonna get booed the fuck out of the arena, but it's gonna be like John Cena and ECW when they stand, where you're just gonna be like, fuck man, like these guys are gonna kill Cody Rhodes. And I think that's what he wants. He wants to get that heat because he's always been cheered.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to New Japan, he got cheered. When he did freaking his stunt in WWE, he got cheered. ROH, he got cheered. NWA,
No,
where? Yes, he did.
not the whole time.
But there were parts where he still got cheered in the beginning. It wasn't until the end when they started like going their little factions with like the Bullet Club, where people were just like, okay, now I gotta pick a side of like Bullet Club of like who I really want, to like angle myself with. Which I used to hate the way Bullet Club used to get rid of members.
Yeah.
It's like you kick one member out by bringing in the new guy and letting the new guy take him out.
What did I miss? We're talking
Everything.
about everything. If you haven't been watching, what are you doing? No, but we're talking about Cody Rhodes right now, and if he's the question was, is Cody Rhodes the best heel in the world for not wanting to become a heel? And I guess according to Kenny, he's always been cheered.
I mean, every time I've seen Cody Rhodes, he's always been cheered, like heavily.
He's also been heavily booed too. I don't know if you remember the Ring of Honor time where he pulled the same thing that you were talking about. It's actually a storyline that happened at Ring of Honor where he's talking about how he did everything for everybody and how everything was for a greater good. And then somebody screamed out, "Where's your sexy ass wife?" And then he said, "Who the fuck said that?" But yeah, I don't know. I can't see him with the title though, especially since, like, I know if he becomes heel, then he has every reason to go after it. But I don't know. I felt like when he said that he wasn't going after the title, that wasn't Cody Rhodes the wrestler saying that. That was Cody Rhodes the person.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think that's what hurt him in the beginning. Like I don't know who wrote that and said like that was a really good idea because that was freaking retarded. Like it was stupid. It made no sense for you to even do that. Like you literally come out in the middle of both entrances. Like it's just you. No one else could come in the middle, and you're going to say like I will never challenge for like the top prize, but I'm always gonna try to be the top guy. Like I don't know. I don't get it. That's just
Well, he
like
did say, I think, and it's so funny that all this shit that just happened, like it snowballed. Because he said that. He said that. You're right. He did say that, and he wasn't going to go after the top prize. What's the first thing he did when that TNT championship was announced?
He went straight for it
He went
because
straight for it.
he couldn't get anything else. He wasn't gonna
Uh,
be a tag team. He tried to do something with his brother that failed. Thank God, because I didn't want to see the Rhodes brothers again as a tag team. We've seen it in WWE multiple times,
yeah.
you know.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, what else is next for him? Besides becoming a heel and joining Brandy in whatever she's trying to do to be a heel at this point, and just be the Rhodes family that rises to the top.
Would you say he's like a genius though? Because he essentially is a heel with babyface qualities. Do you think he
Yeah,
knows that he's playing the game that way? Do you think it's like I'm
yeah,
still a babyface, but but we all boo him?
yeah,
He's got to be he knows how to play with the crowd, so I'm thinking he knows what he's doing.
yeah. I mean, he definitely knows what he's doing on aspects where he's just like, okay, if you're not gonna cheer me, then you might as well boo me. So I'm gonna try everything possible to get you guys to boo me. I have no beef with Goldust at all. I just don't like to have Cody and Dustin together to form a tag team. We don't need it.
Uh yeah, they don't need to be together. Yeah. But I don't know. He definitely knows. He definitely knew what he was doing when he cut that promo and said, "I know what you guys want from me, and it's not gonna happen."
It will.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Yep.
Is that what you're predicting,
Yep.
or is that a spoiler?
A little bit of both.
Uh, the game. I see what you did there. Well, so synopsis of this: Cody Rhodes, the best heel for not being a heel right now.
I
Yes or
give him
no?
some. I give him some for now. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say yes too. I like that though. We were at a little bit of a disagreement there because we were on a roll there with agreeing with each other, going off a tangent. We need some friction here. So another question that you gave me was, what's missing from Impact Wrestling?
I know what's missing from Impact Wrestling. Besides fans.
Uh, how about a TV channel?
Yeah, because they're on Access, right? Right now,
Yeah,
which a lot of people don't even get. So it's you can't really see it. But in order for them to get some type of TV deal, they need to start producing better programming because they can come with like amazing matches. You just say Brock Lesnar,
he said Brock Lesnar.
you know. But if you're not giving us really good storylines, like then what's the point? Because guess what? If we want to see good wrestling, we could just go to AEW.
What, have you watched an Impact Wrestling show?
Yeah, I've watched a couple of them, and
Okay,
I've always catched their pay-per-views.
yeah.
Um, but to me, it's like you have all these people now that are gonna be free. You can build a really great staple and attack the wrestling business again, but just give us some storylines. You did a really great job in the beginning with Jay White when he was in Impact for for that short period of
Cup of
time,
coffee.
and he was with Chris Bay. Like that had a really good storyline. Um, Violent by Design was another great storyline that they had with Rhino.
Hmm.
I thought that was great. Um, and then there's other times like we had Josh Alexander going for the X Division title, and then him and TJP having like these feuds together. Like that built in ring, that built a really great story, and then outside of the ring, it also built a really great story. And I just wish that whoever is writing for Impact Wrestling, or if they have any freaking writers at all in Impact Wrestling, that they need to come together, sit down, and say like, okay, what can we do to um, get people's attention
Yeah.
because their talent does it on all by themselves. Deonna Purrazzo could go out and become a huge star, and it's does it help Impact Wrestling that she's becoming a huge star? No, but it's definitely helping her. Jordan Grace is another one. She's how many times we see Jordan Grace on Instagram?
Yeah. All the
A
time.
lot,
Yeah.
right? So you're telling me you can't fucking take that to your advantage? You guys should be having Jordan Grace on your little TV network, whatever it is that you're doing right now, and try to blow that up all the time. But they just what Impact's problem is that they go back to TNA days. So like when you look at Twitch, and the first thing you see instead of seeing um something from like Moose or Chris Bay, we're seeing Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Hulk Hogan, Sting, Jeff Hardy. Like these guys are not in your freaking company anymore. They're
Mm-hmm.
gone. Like the heydays are over. You don't see Vince McMahon going out there and saying, "Well, you know what?
Whoa.
You know what? I we don't have a match for SmackDown, so I'm gonna put Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan on screen right now so you can watch it on the network."
You're right. He doesn't do that. He does that with older talent versus younger.
I mean, but you get what I'm saying though. It's not like okay, like right now, if I go on Twitch and I look for Impact Wrestling, I guarantee you I'm probably gonna end up seeing Hogan or I'm gonna see Sting.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I'm gonna see something that has absolutely no it has nothing to do with last week's episode at all.
But my thing is, because I watched one episode and then I was watching that pay-per-view. What was it? One of their biggest pay-per-views. What was it called? Where
Bound for
Josh
Glory?
That's it. And I didn't think it was a bad show.
No, it really was a really good show, but they just like first of all they bring up freaking pay per views at like the last minute. It reminds me of one of my friends that he just tells us last minute that something is gonna happen, and you'd be like, "Why didn't you give us like some type of advance?" Oh, I forgot. You've had 2 months of television or a month, 3 weeks of TV time that um you could have built this up. And then what I told you about Twitch, they're constantly on all the time. I
Mm-hmm.
just turned on Twitch right now. They're showing TNA, and who do I see right now? Dustin Rhodes, an AEW talent.
What? I think they're falling under the WWE thing, where they always constantly go back to what can bring back the old fans nostalgia. So they'll bring in a Goldberg, they'll bring in a John Cena, they'll bring in
Mhm.
Stone Cold every once in a fucking while.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
just
drunk. But the thing about it is that they're when Vince does that, he brings in a Goldberg or a John Cena or a Stone Cold. Like he's bringing views to the USA Network or Fox. What they're doing right now in Impact Wrestling is doing absolutely nothing at all. Like you would think that when they had to deal with New Japan, that you would see more footage of them, of Juice Robinson and Fit Finley's son, um, in New Japan defending the Impact titles when they had it. Nope, they just mentioned it on TV.
mm,
Now, if it would have been Tony Khan or if it would have been Vince McMahon, you would have seen video online through commercials on their website, on Twitch, on freaking TikTok, or where Twitter, everywhere.
uh,
It's just like I don't know. It's just like they just kind of just hanging out, like they're just coasting.
uh, before I get to my point, Toe says they don't travel and have no national coverage. They can't bring eyes unless they show people they used. Unless they show people they used to be sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. They have no national coverage, which if I think they did, judging by what I saw, it's I don't see any difference between what they do versus what Raw does.
Hmm.
I mean, why is it that Raw gets? I mean, obviously it's the TV channel, but do you think that if they were to switch it up, let's say they get a TV deal with like Turner, but they go to True TV on Thursdays, and they have a set schedule, they have a whatever. Do you think they'll get the same amount of views as Raw does?
No,
No.
because they don't market themselves to get those same views.
Do they have the money to? I
I
mean,
don't think so.
realistically, uh,
I don't. I don't know. I'm in my mind right now. I'm gonna say no.
I mean,
You
I
know,
can't
I don't.
imagine their pay per view or I can't imagine their pay per view or their like YouTube streams or anything like
Mhm.
that is getting in any revenue. I don't even know how they're paying their talent, to be honest. I just,
Obviously, they're probably just giving them money on the side. And it's like here,
yeah.
and they're letting their talent go and do other shows in other places. So obviously, you're making their money somehow.
Okay. Toe doesn't know where the True TV's at. Let's see if this rings a bell. Impractical Jokers. Do you watch that? Because if not, then I guess you don't know what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what's missing from Impact? I mean,
Storytelling. Um, they need to move from Nashville. They need to like maybe put themselves in a more different audience base. Travel around and see like these small little places. Because if you're gonna continue doing a small venue, then might as well just go out to different cities and small spots and keep building from there where you can like try to get more fans to pack these places where it shows like okay, we're getting more fans instead of doing 4 weeks of TV on a Saturday and Sunday, because that's exactly what they do. They literally do 4 weeks of TV on a Saturday and Sunday and then send their talent home for the rest of the month. That's why
they
Matt Cardona could freaking go to NWA and GCW all the time because he only does 1 week of work with Impact Wrestling and then leaves out for another 3 weeks.
that brings up a good point, but it's another thing too that Toe was saying that I just thought of is that they were in Las Vegas for some of those tapings, but
Mm-hmm.
you would not have been able to tell
Nope.
that they were in Vegas.
Nope.
I don't even
Unless
know what venue that was.
unless they did what you call it, unless it was like, but once again, unless it was Matt Cardona and Brian Myers that brung half their fan base with them to the TV tapings. That was the only reason why they had maybe half of the people that were coming out because they were picking people from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Network.
They need some kind of shock value. They had that
They had
when
shock value.
Jay
You
White
had
showed up.
you had Jay White show up. You had Kenny Omega show up. You had what's this guy's name? He was Bronson Reed in NXT.
Yeah.
He's there now. You have freaking Gallows and Anderson. Like there was major shock values every single time. You had Christian Cage on there.
Mm-hmm.
Another shock value. Like oh shit, he's come back to Impact Wrestling, but they can't execute it. You have the Inspiration come out and win the tag team titles their first night in. Another shock value. You guys do nothing with it. Heath Slater comes back. You do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're waiting for as far as like saying to yourself like, or maybe we get like a Bray Wyatt or a Braun Strowman. That's still not gonna do anything because it's just gonna it's gonna have people talking for like a couple of days, couple of weeks, and then by the next month it fizzles out, and then you're going right back to what it is.
Right. There was no payoff with the Jay White thing because I thought for
Nope.
sure it was going to be leading up to him forming a new Bullet Club,
Mm-hmm.
going to
And that.
AEW, invading that,
Yep.
and going after the Elite. And Next thing you know, like a few months later, he's gone. Nobody knows where he went, and then their relationship ends for now. And yeah, like you said, there's like no fucking execution. The and another thing that they did for shock value too that got a little bit of some people talking was the ending of Bound for Glory when Josh Alexander held the title for 2 seconds, and then that was it.
Yep.
And there's no payoff for that because Josh Alexander doesn't even have a chance for a rematch. They literally just did away with that. He brought his
Exactly.
family in, his kid in, gets fucking smacked, loses the championship, and then
Now you got Matt Cardona trying to go after the Impact title.
yeah, exactly. Um, Jay White did a promo in the X division. That's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega is more shock for AEW. The
Yep.
Inspiration won the titles the first night. Yeah, them showing up uh, was shocking enough,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly that what's missing from them is everything. They got the talent. That's not we can't dispute that, but they're just missing everything. Everything that makes WWE good and everything that makes AEW good, they don't have. And they need to like really maybe open up some new horizons. Maybe think about rebranding. Go back to TNA. Use the name TNA again.
Yeah, but then they got to pay Dixie Carter money, and I think even WWE owns half of that anyway. So
Oh, do
I think
they?
it's just their library, one or the other. I know Vince owns some part of it.
Well, shit. Last, did they shock the system?
Nope,
No.
that went to AEW.
I need Kenny the Cleaner. Well,
We all need Kenny to clean.
he's Kenny the Clinic now because he's healing up right now. Uh, or at least what? Or at least Jose. He does a good job cleaning. Okay, we're going off the rails here. uh, so yeah, synopsis. What's missing from Impact? I don't know.
We
I
can
guess
only
that's
wait
something
and
they
see.
need to
Yeah.
figure out themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a good topic, man. All right, let's bounce back to another one. Let me hit the gavel and go ahead and start this and say this one's going to be a tough one. Been thinking about this one for a week now. If a wrestler with accusations gets signed to a big company, is there any reason to acknowledge those issues, or do you just move on from them?
I think you should totally acknowledge it. I
Okay, I'm
think
on.
I for me, I feel like if you want to, everyone says that people should get a second chance. If you want to get that second chance, then you need to acknowledge the fact that you did something wrong. You need to show your fans, you need to show newer fans that, okay, he is owning up to his mistakes or she's owning up to her mistakes, and she's willing to change and she's proving this or he's proving this time and time again. Do I think certain things, deserve second chances? I'm gonna say no. If you are forcing yourself on someone, I don't think that you deserve a second chance. I think you should just go into something else and just say bye to professional wrestling because I don't think that you deserve that second chance. If it's something that you can say like, okay, like I don't know, I could bring up was it Jay Uso, right?
Mm,
With the DUIs. Okay, I can give you a second chance, but at this point now with the Usos, with Jay, I can't give him I can't give him a third chance. Like I feel like, and I know some people probably might agree with me on this one, but I feel like WWE did not punish him at all. WWE gave him the tag team titles and said, Go play with your cousin. Your wife will handle the blunt of the punishment, and we're just gonna smack the shit out of her on freaking SmackDown and not give her a title shot at all. And Lay says it's Jimmy. Yeah,
Yeah, they look the same.
yeah,
I mean,
they're the same. Fuck it. They both got it off easy.
hmm um, so I'm gonna be. I might get a lot of fucking heat for this, but I'm on the fence that I don't feel like you should, to a certain extent. I don't feel like you should acknowledge something that they've been accused of because that's all they are. They're accusations.
Hmm.
Nothing's been proven in a court of law. Nobody's been, indicted. It's just, that's all they are. It's like me pointing to you and saying, "Hey, you punched me in the face." No, I didn't. You know what I mean?
I mean, we
And
did have some people in the wrestling business who they had some accusations on them. They was
right.
proven that they did these things, and they still come back and, um, you know, try to salvage something of their career.
Before I get, isn't this his fourth chance?
It might be the fourth time,
Um,
and I know that, Toe is in the
he's
chat right now, and
yeah,
I'll
he
give
is.
you and he's probably gonna say something right now about this, and and I'll say it. Somebody like Hogan, right, has been given multiple chances of resalvaging his career, and something else just happens to come up that he's done wrong, and it just brings him back down. Um, Ric Flair is another person that a lot of people look up to, and guess what? He's done some foul shit, and people give him multiple chances, and it's just like, okay, when's enough already? Um, who else? Oh my god. But right now, those are the two top people. Oh, Jeff Hardy's another person. Look at what happened over the weekend, and all the other reports that are coming in on him. You know what I mean? Matt Riddle. He said, Legos Matt Riddle
Got
got
lucky.
lucky. Matt Riddle did get lucky because he was smart. Okay. When the girl came out and accused him of rape, he was quickly enough to say, like, no, that did not happen. I have proof that this didn't happen, and I have freaking restraining orders from the courts showing that, like, um you were stalking me and my family, and you're just a crazy ass. Stone
Oh,
Cold used to beat
Lay.
his wives. Yeah, that's true, and that's another thing. So, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? So with Dark Side of the Ring now, they're like breaking down
God damn it,
all
though.
all of our which is stupid. They're breaking down all of our favorite people little by little, and I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've been a big fan of his since I was a kid, but sooner or later, it's not hidden because he's said he's had issues with drinking and issues with his wife and all the other stuff. But that Dark Side of the Ring story of Stone Cold Steve Austin is gonna come out sooner or later.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Those him whipping her ass is gonna come out sooner or later. Do I agree with putting Stone Cold Steve Austin putting his hands on his ex-wife or any type of female at all? No, in my opinion, I think he's a piece of shit for doing that. You know what I mean? But like um that's the outside part of him. That's like his personal self. So as a person, I think for me, I'd be like he's a piece of shit. As a performer, he's one of the best. Just like with Hogan, I think Hogan's a piece of shit in real life. I think he's a freaking asshole. But as a
Mm-hmm.
performer, I think he's great. I was a Hulkamaniac. I still have the shorts. I have action figures from Hogan. But like personal wise, I think he's a piece of shit. That's just my opinion. You know.
Yeah. The show is called In My Opinion, so
There
it's
you
all
go.
right. Yeah. So yeah, in my opinion of everything, I don't know. It's just so tough. This is a tough one because I'm a big proponent on you are innocent until proven guilty. So for people to just get on Twitter or and get on these wrestlers, like I really don't want to name drop because I feel like if they come on this show, they're gonna get fucking pissed off if I ever have an interview. But
I
uh,
mean, I don't mind name dropping.
okay, I'll name drop like Jay Lethal, right?
Yeah, he's been known um to be handsy with females, and
But
he needs to live up to his fucking truth. If you did it, just say you did it,
that's
because
the thing,
eventually
though.
it's
That's the
gonna come
point I'm
out.
trying to make. Like, what if he didn't do it?
Then
Why?
prove
Why?
you.
Why?
Then
Why would
prove
you?
yourself.
No, no,
Then
no.
prove
Like,
yourself in. Then listen.
like,
Then prove that you're innocent. Don't just stand there and be quiet about stuff, and just prove yourself. Okay.
as for me personally, I'm not going to come out and apologize for something I didn't do. Like, what sense does that make? And then at the end of the day, you know how we are, man. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's true.
Hulk Hogan could come up and save a bunch of orphans from a burning building, and people would still hate that fucking guy. You know what I mean? It's just that's just the way it is. So I'm not going to go up and admit to something or apologize for something that I didn't do because I didn't do it. And it's just allegations and it's just accusations. Unless there's solid proof like tape recordings, video, uh, police reports, show me those. I need legitimate proof that this person did something in order for me to call them a piece of shit. Like with Hogan, I feel like it was recorded, right?
hmm He had the videotapings, and then what's his name? Alberto Carrillo. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like outside and inside of the ring, he's a fuck. He's like he's garbage. I like give two shits about that guy, whether he fucking lives or dies at this point. Like, but yeah,
Yeah. The burden of proof is not on the defendant, it's on the prosecutor. Okay? I mean, I guess like they I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I have no idea. Um, but yeah, I'm just pro show me something before
hmm
you guys start, doing all this stuff. Like this man's trying to make a living and you can't do that to people. That's
right.
just like I can't like I would hate it for you if rumors came out for me that I did something to somebody and then you come out on your podcast and say, "Yeah, he did this. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Fuck him." But
Are you trying to confess something to us right now?
what?
Were you the guy at the park that was swimming naked
That
in
was
the
me.
lake?
Yeah,
I knew
yeah,
it. I knew
yeah.
it. I remember. I saw the hat. That's all I remember.
I still had the
The Michigan
injection
patch
in
on.
me. Yeah. No, but like in all seriousness, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, you know what I mean. That's why
No,
this
no,
is a
I
tough
got you. I got
subject.
you.
This is why it was a tough subject subject for me because I feel like Tony Khan is not dumb.
No, he's not.
So signing people that are controversial,
Mhm.
um,
It's just gonna bring more eyes to AEW.
yeah, it was like he was the naked swimmer. Oh God, yeah, it's just gonna bring more eyes and have people talk about it. Um, if you really did something, like for instance, Jimmy Havoc, he's gonna fire you
Yep.
if there's proof. But if there's no proof, I'm sorry, I can't get behind the.
Right.
He's a piece of shit. It was for OnlyFans. Hey, you got to make that money, Toe.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all struggling out here. Um, so that was a topic. What do you think? So, what do you think about the overall synopsis of it all?
I
I
say throw
mean,
your truths on the table and just hope for the best.
okay, and I'm more of a proof type guy.
Mm-hmm.
Show me something, and then we'll talk. Wait a little bit. Let's see. Stuff like that should be don't what? Stuff like that should be don't on their private time. Oh, dealt probably. Should be dealt on their private time. The company needs to get past it. They not a Judge Judy, the executioner. Okay. Yeah, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
They are not the judge and the executioner. Um, Another topic that we got. This one you brought up. I'm kind of not like, or you say wrestlers slash promotions versus podcasters. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Okay, so I is this? I think this is the last topic that I had put down,
Yeah.
something like that. So what I mean by wrestlers and promotions versus podcasters, when I start to mention this, I know Toe and you will probably be like, "Yeah, I agree with it." It's where like they want to have so much press, and I know there's a million different podcasts out there, but to make someone feel like their show is nothing and you end up talking about dirt sheets and these websites, but then you shoot down somebody who wants to interview you for whatever particular reason, but then a week later or a couple of days later you end up going on these dirt sheet websites to do interviews, say with somebody like Wrestling Inc. or Sean Rossap from Fightful, or even I can't even say Chris Van Vliet because he really doesn't do dirt sheet stuff. But like just give those two companies the rub right now, as they say in the wrestling business. It gets frustrating for a lot of other podcasters that are out there, and I've seen it more and more as I started going through doing this more. Where like I've even had people tell me no, and it's fine, and I've had people just truly ignore me and say like, not like acknowledge like an email or a DM message, like you can clearly see that they read it, and they kind of just like, all right, whatever. But then they go on, like Fightful and talk all this stuff that you possibly wanted to talk about, and they kind of just like shun it away. But then they turn right back around like a month later and say, "Oh, I hate dirt sheets and all this other stuff." But you were just on one not too long ago, and I think a lot of fans like praise these people way too high, and that's the reason why they start going that route.
Yeah, they think they're holier than thou. Like
Exactly.
they're bigger than what they are, which is, I mean, at the end of the day, they're like YouTube celebrities. Only people that watch YouTube know who they are.
Yep.
Everybody else doesn't know who. Like if I said Thunder Rosa to a random person on the street that never watched wrestling, they'd be like, "Who? What the fuck? Who's Thunder Rosa?"
I bet everybody knows John Cena and Roman Reigns.
Right. But it's like you're not unless you're John Cena, The Rock, nobody's going to know who you are outside of wrestling. And I don't know why you get such a big head when somebody like, me and you want to have a discourse, want to talk about something and get yourself over. Like not only are we trying to get yourself over, but by you being on our show on proxy
Like,
is
it's still press for you.
Yeah. And it's helping us out too, like
Exactly.
build a brand. And there's a question here. How many wrestlers have podcasts?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
But some of them don't even keep up with them afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Like Cole Cabana has like 5.
Yeah.
But there's just there's a disconnect now. There's a big disconnect between podcasts, wrestling promotions, and etc. I remember when I first started out doing this stuff by myself. It was it was difficult to even talk to half of these people because they never talked back, like you said. one of my first ones that I was hopeful on doing was Tyrus
Hmm.
from NWA. And what happened was we set up a date. I was really excited because I had everything planned in my head, like how the video was going to look and how we
Hmm.
were going to do things, what questions. Uh, when the day came, I'm like, "Hey, man, ready for the interview?" He saw it, no response. He's like, "Hey," a couple hours later, "Hey, man, you still down for this interview tonight?" Saw it, no response. Then I go on his Instagram,
Piece of shit.
and he's about to get ready to do a Fox and Friends show because he's at that things with Fox News, and I was like, oh, okay, man, uh, see you later, shit like that. It really, I don't know, it brought me down. Like,
Yeah. And that's what sucks is like when you get that feeling, because I've had that feeling where I work nights, so a lot of times when I do interviews, like I have to stay up to get myself prepared and get the stuff going. And I've had wrestlers like not even show up for interviews where
see,
I send them the message and say, "Hey, are we good to go?" And I'm thinking everything is cool, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I have everything together, and like they just don't show. And then when you ask them like, "Hey, what happened?" There's no response. But then you go out and you say like, "Oh, I love my fans, and you guys are the reason why I'm at where I'm at right now." And and I always tell people it's like I'm not a journalist. I am just a regular fan that just decided to come on and do a show, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and people will come on and and stuff like that. And then you get people like certain talent. Danny Limelight is one person. I think he's a piece of shit because he was supposed to do an episode with me and he just fucking flaked. And he's not, and that's not the first time he's done that. I've heard from multiple podcasters that he's done that to them as well. Uh, Cole Cabana is another person that has like 5 podcasts and did not show up for 2 straight meetings that we were supposed to have, and just like flaked on both. And I was just like, okay, well, you're a piece of shit. You can go away. Like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And another issue I have with this whole thing is Leia was saying, I don't know, they're not very, very sensitive,
most star.
but yeah, most are. And then another thing, I feel like not just some of the interactions I've had, especially with these Twitter spaces,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that they're very, very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And one person that made up a good, he made a good point. It was the jobber tears.
Mm-hmm.
He made up that same exact point, and I totally agree with it. It's like, why am I feeling so? Why am I feeling so awkward to talk to you right now? Like, it should be like a friendly thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like I've had conversations, and I'm sure you've seen some of my interviews where I'm talking to somebody, and it's almost like they're not paying attention to what I'm saying, or they're looking the other way, or they're uh, everything. It's like such short answers to the point where it's like, oh, I thought you were going to elaborate a little bit more.
I
You know what I mean?
I interviewed um, Amber Nova,
Uh,
and this is when she was just like just starting out in AEW and getting herself like more footing into the door. I did a whole bunch of research on her, and I started asking the questions. And literally, these are questions that like you can stretch out, and like I
hmm
was like, okay, she has to have a story for this. And it was just like very short answers. Like if you go back and you look at that interview, you can just see my face where I'm just like, uh,
See?
yeah, so that didn't go as planned. That was weird. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, what's next? And we just kind of just like, all right, let's just rush through this, get it over with, um, and just end it like that. There was one person that literally I went back and I interviewed them, and I'm not gonna say who it is because this
Hmm.
person's really cool and they've gotten better throughout the times. I've seen them in other interviews before, and I'm just like, okay, they've gotten way better. But I literally looked at the interview and I did not like it. I had to email the person back and I made up some bullshit excuse saying that, oh, the signal was really bad. Do you think you have time to do this again? And the person said yes. Can we do it tomorrow? And we did it the next day, and it was 100% better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off air who it is, but it was
Okay.
100% better than the interview that we had. And I was just like, thank God. Because shit, I really did just not want to be like, wow, well, this is going to be scrap.
They're not as confident as characters they play on TV.
No, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are like that. A lot of them are just really to themselves. So like somebody like Seth Rollins. You see how outgoing he is in the ring and how outspoken he is. In real life, he's not like that. He is very to himself. Like,
Hmm.
he likes what he likes, and that's it. Like if you see him out in the street, he'll say hi, but he's not gonna be the Seth Rollins that you see on TV. Big E is another person that's like that. You may see him, jiving and grinding on freaking wrestling poles and all this other nonsense. But in real
Screaming.
life, he's just very to himself, and he said it in multiple interviews. He's like, what you see on TV is not what you're gonna get in real life. Like I am very awkward, you
Hmm.
know. AJ Lee is the same way too. She says she's very awkward in person, and you know what I like. You know, the thing what it is, I like when they say that in the beginning, like, yeah, I'm very awkward when you meet me. So like, please don't feel some type of way, And then you get others that live up to what their character is.
Hmm. One person I was gonna mention was, and I gotta admit, was probably the best interview because it was like playing with his character while
Mm-hmm.
also having a serious interview, and that's Trevor Outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually it's one that I have with less views,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one of my favorite interviews that I've done because I got to play off with his character. So I don't know if you've ever interviewed a heel before.
Yeah, I
Um,
have.
okay, I would suggest trying to get in contact with him and asking him a few questions because that was so fun. And yeah, there is some people that can make it like fun, like their character is obviously their gimmick is everything to them, and when you can play off of that, that makes it more, I don't know, interactive. Whereas if I'm talking to somebody and I go, "Hey, what was it like working at AEW for such a short time?"
And they just
It
tell
would,
you, oh, it's cool.
yeah, it was okay. Um, I did a little bit here and there.
And then
Oh,
that's
all
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like moving on.
Yeah. And then at the point I run out of questions and I'm like, so,
What are you working on?
yeah, what's up? Yeah. What's next for you? No, I don't know.
If you ever see an interview and at one point it kind of just like if I go, hey, so yeah, so tell the people about some other stuff that you're working on. I have nothing else left to say, and this interview is about to end in like in 2 minutes because once you're done, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, thank you for your time and blah blah whatever. Unless I'm on a crunch time, like like what I did like with Mickey James and like Kyle O'Reilly, where like I was like I only had 20 minutes and I had to make the best of it.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is when it comes to the wrestlers. I just wish they would, I don't know what it is lately, but they just got a big head.
I tell you this was. I'll end it with this. To the talent of AEW, WWE, NWA, MLW, GCW, quit being a bitch and just have fun with other podcast people. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. It doesn't necessarily have to be pro wrestling podcast. But there are a million other amazing podcast people that are out there that are trying very hard to go out and do something. You don't necessarily need to always go to, Wrestling Inc. or Sean Rossap from freaking Fightful. You don't need to go to Denise Darcedo every 2 seconds to try and get an interview.
I
Just
think they do that because it's like a safe thing for them because they know that they're gonna like appeal to their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they don't know us, so they think that we're gonna like screw them over or something, or
Mm-hmm.
ask them a question they don't want to answer.
Like, oh my god. So, I got a hold of Top Dollar's management company, and they was just like, oh, we can talk to him about setting up an interview. I said, great. I say, if there's a fee, because a lot of the times there are fees to have some of this talent come on there,
Yeah.
come on your show. And I said, hey, if he requires a fee, please let me know, and we could work something out. So the guy tells me, he's like, oh, like, what's your budget? I said, listen, to be honest with you, like, I'll pay maybe like 150, $200. Like,
Hmm.
I only need 20 minutes, and basically it's not even really talking about like, like your WWE release. And I even broke it down. I'm just like, he's gonna talk about his releases to a whole bunch of other people. Great, he can mention that on the show if he wants to. But I really want to know more about his NFL career. What made him get into pro wrestling? Stuff like that. What do you want to see yourself moving forward after WWE and NXT? Like, where do you want to see yourself? And this man came back and said, fine, no problem. Give me about an hour. Hits me back an hour later, sends me a text message and goes, it sends me a screen. So this is how I knew he wasn't lying. He sent me a screenshot of the conversation that he had with him. And in
Hmm.
the end of the conversation, he says, well, I know these dirt sheets. And I'm just like, I'm not a dirt sheet writer. I'm like, but whatever. And it's like, they're going to make so much money off of me. So you could let them know. You could let them know that I'll do it for 1,000.
What?
He wanted to charge me $1,000. I said, no, thank you. You have a good day. Enjoy your life. And I pray for nothing but the best for you at this point. Because me giving you $1,000 for a 20-minute interview is not going to make me any money at all. That is going to probably get circled around dirt sheet websites for about a week. Is not going to do anything for me. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh my god, I made $5,000 off of my interview with Top Dollar. Oh
Top
my god,
dollar.
Vince McMahon called me, and now I'm doing the post show with Sam Roberts for freaking or
Yeah.
Rosenberg for freaking WrestleMania, all because I paid $1,000 to Top Dollar, and he told me about his NFL career and what he's gonna do next after wrestling in WWE. Get the fuck out of here! I was like, you know what? You can suck my dick.
Fuck. Yeah, you do shit like that, you're gonna be in $12 billion in debt like ROH is, man.
Exactly.
Fuck. Uh, just one more thing before we get off this topic, and then that'll be it. We'll close. What did you mean by promotions? Are promotions doing the same thing as well?
Yes, I'll mention this promotion because I'm never gonna freaking hit them up again. But Impact Wrestling has their media department, and literally the guy made me feel like a fucking piece of shit at one point, and maybe I probably if I would have let him get to me, I probably would have never continued on. You know, cameos. Yeah, the cameos are fucking ridiculous too. So the guy from Impact Wrestling, I got his name through a friend. I hit him up and I say, hey, do you have any talent that could possibly, come on the show? He says, give me a call on Monday. I did this on a Friday. He says, call me on Monday. I'm a little busy. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Call him up on Monday, and the first thing he says is, mind you, I'm 3 months in to starting this podcast, and he goes, tell me your numbers. I said, well, I just started about 3 months ago. Don't have that much following on YouTube. I like to throw a lot of my stuff on YouTube. I got about like 200 people following me right now on YouTube. But the views are not that great. They're between maybe like 60 views to maybe like 150. I was like, podcast wise, audio, I get like around 60 to about 100 downloads an episode so far. And I've had a good couple of people. The man literally tells me, well, to be honest with you, I don't think that I would want to waste my time with any of my talent to put them on your show because I can open up my window and scream Impact Wrestling, and I could probably get more people to listen to me than the people that listen to your show. And I go, huh, okay. And he
That's
goes,
funny.
He goes, let's revisit this in 6 months and see where you are from there. Because he asked me about Instagram too. He was just like, well, how many followers do you have on Instagram? I was like, I got like 1,200, like right now. And he was like, okay. Like, he says, yeah, let's visit this back again in, in 6 months. So I said, all right. So 6 months down the line comes, I don't respond. I don't hit him back up. Um, but I do get other people from Impact Wrestling to come on the show. I got like Heath Slater, Moose, Josh Alexander, um, and like
Mm-hmm.
maybe like a couple other people from like Impact Wrestling. And I go back to him now, and I say, hey, you probably don't remember me, but about 8 months, 9 months ago, me and you had this conversation, and I literally broke everything down that he told me. I said since then, I was like, my following has gone up about another 3,000 followers. My views have gone up. YouTube, I'm really not that focused on like that. I just kind of just throw everything up there. But like downloads to like like podcast downloads, I'm anywhere between 300 to 700 downloads depending on who comes on and the topics that we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden he hits me up and goes, who do you want to interview? And I was just like, who do you have? And he was just like, I can give you Rich Swann. And that's how I got the Rich Swann interview.
Uh,
But I still feel like, okay, you gave chances to other people that I have gotten more downloads and views off of. And I see your talent everywhere on these bullshit shows, which I love all podcast people, but sometimes it sucks. Like, like what? No, not you. Don't ever point at yourself. If you sucked, I wouldn't be on this show. Like, come on now. And it's just like this is where like the disconnect comes, and this is when the like you start to hate people in a way where you just like, I don't even want to deal with you no more. And that's why like sometimes I don't even reach out to freaking Impact Wrestling anymore, because it's just like, okay, I just wanted to prove my point. Like, I didn't let your negativity stop me from becoming for lift like getting this
mm,
program that I had in mind off the ground. Because imagine if you would have told somebody that had like some serious mental issues, like,
yeah.
and now you basically tell them that the one thing that they love the most sucks. Like, oh, I don't really think that you can do
Yeah.
this. Okay, well, you know what? Somebody else could have probably just been like, you know what, you right. Fuck it. I'm just gonna get a bottle of drink and I'm just gonna get rid of all this. Or
Yeah.
you could have been like myself that just said, you know what, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I'm gonna get fucking bigger stars than what you have in Impact Wrestling, and I'm gonna make a name for myself, and I'm gonna make sure that people know who I am. Like, am I at where am I at the level that I want to be right now? No, but I damn sure am better than what I was fucking 3 months, 4 months ago.
That's exactly right, man. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be kind to people or respectfully decline something.
Exactly.
Numbers shouldn't matter. And what he did to you was fucked up, but look
So
at you
say
now,
fuck
man.
them.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing great, man. I actually enjoy like your content and uh, your interviews. Your interview with Rich Swan was really good, and I look forward to more if we can get more. You know what I
I have
mean?
one. I have one coming up this month to end the year, which should be good.
Okay. Don't want to spoil it yet.
No, 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 no. Because this person just confirmed last night that they're gonna do it on the date that we discussed, and then another person had to cancel, so we're not gonna be able to do it until next month, which kind of worked out because I'm gonna actually see this person. I'm gonna see them in person, so I want to see maybe I could just do a live interview instead of just doing it over Zoom.
I swear to God, if you got Sky Blue, I swear to God,
If I got Sky Blue, I would have told you.
I'm throwing hands. All right. Last, hold on one second. Last question. It just came in from a fan. Um, Homemade mac and cheese versus boxed mac and cheese.
Fuck home. Fuck box macaroni and cheese. That just sucks. Kraft, no way. I'm
Fuck
not doing
you.
that.
I'm team boxed mac and cheese all the way.
Oh my god.
God, but hey, that's gonna be it from us. Kenny, thank you so much for coming on,
Yo,
man.
man, thank you for having me, man. I loved it.
This has been so much fun. Episode 1 is in the books. If you don't mind, before we go off here, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah,
Um,
so I do live stream, like live watch alongs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays I do it with Toe and Show from the Knucklehead podcast. We teamed up together to join forces and try to entertain people on Mondays while watching Monday Night Raw. We try to make it more family oriented where everybody gets a turn to like shit on WWE on a Monday, which is
mhm.
turning out to be great. We've gotten different people from like all over to come and give their opinions on Monday Night Raw, so it's starting to become fun on Mondays. Wednesdays I do AEW Dynamite, but I'm not doing it this Wednesday because I'm actually going to Dynamite on Wednesday. But
Ooh.
if you go on my Instagram, I'm gonna be doing like live coverage and stuff like that. So if people want to like see other things and give like their opinions on stuff, I'll be on Instagram. And then Fridays I do Friday Night SmackDown and maybe like the first match of Rampage because I work nights, so I have to leave. So I can't stick around really long and shoot the shit. And then just my interviews when they pop up here and there. If you haven't checked out interviews that I've done before, the stuff with like Chris Van Vliet, Kyle O'Reilly, Moose, Rich Swann, Mickey James, Heath Slater, Chris Van Vliet. The list goes on as far as like people that have actually gave me the time of day to say yes, I will give you a shot, and I'm very appreciative of all those people. And like you have mentioned Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa was my very first guest. They gave me an opportunity. I had no experience at all. I sent her an email basically telling her why I was doing this show and could she possibly please help me out and do this show. I've actually used the word please in that email, and she sent me an email back saying I would love to. Let's set it up. And she came on, and the only thing she asked me was just buy me a cup of coffee. That was
What?
it. That was it. She just said, "Buy me some Starbucks," and I was just like, "Are you serious?" I thought she was joking. She was just like, "No, just buy me a cup of Starbucks." Because I asked her, said, "Hey, if there's anything you need me to do in order for you to come on my show," and this is before she started going with AEW, because she
Okay.
got really busy. So she was the NWA champ at the time. So she just said, "Hey, I don't mind helping out a fan. Just buy me a cup of coffee." And I was like, "I'll buy you Starbucks." And she was like, "Okay." Just buy me a cup of Starbucks. And I was like, great. And I sent her the money for Starbucks and say, get whatever you want, get a fucking a pastry at that. Thank you so much. She came on, did more than I asked for 15 minutes and she did 35.
Oh,
So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to your upcoming interviews, and yeah, that'll be it for, in my opinion. We're gonna do this every, not me and Kenny, but I'm gonna try to do this every Tuesday at 5:30, possibly with
all right.
a new podcaster every week. So hope you guys enjoyed it. But that's it from us. So peace out, everybody.
Later.